Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas and a very revvy New Year to you gentlefolk out there. This is Ollie here at Visordown, and I'm wishing you glad tidings, the happiest of holidays wherever you may be on this planet, and all the very, very best for a prosperous and safe 2022. Yes, here at Visordown, it is that time of year when we look back at a year of riding pleasure and tasty new motorcycles. And what a year it has been. From the top of the year with the Suzuki Hayabusa to the more recent Ducati Panigale V4S, with the Triumph Speed Triple Twins, Harley-Davidson Sportster S, Yamaha R7, the Kawasaki ZX-10R in between, to name but a few, we've certainly been busy bikers in 2021, despite that ever-lingering nasty that is COVID. First and foremost, we want to say thank you because Visordown is heading for another record year of people visiting the website, watching our videos and commenting on social media. And we cannot wait to show you what we have in store for 2022. But before that, we wanted to show you what you have been watching on our YouTube channels this year, with a rundown of the new motorcycles you just had to click on. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I shall begin. This has been a big year for the Big HD, following a major management reshuffle in 2020 that suggested it was leaning back into its core business models of grunty cruisers, but also the launch of the much anticipated and well-received Pan America Off-Roader, plus the all-new Sportster S, built on a platform that will spawn a number of new models over the coming years. And yet, despite the interest in these models, it was this, the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy 114, that was its most watched motorcycle on our channels. The launch of this model certainly attracted your attention in 2021, and how could it not, with its lashings of chrome, steamroller profile, and a name that makes you think of the biggest, juiciest hamburger you could only order in the US. It's big, it's brash, it's possibly the most Harley-Davidson of all the Harley-Davidsons, and it shows why these new managers think there is still good value in feet-forward riding. The first of our popular head-to-heads to appear in this rundown. The first features Triumph, a company that will be popping the corks come the end of the year as it prepares to toast a big rise in sales. It certainly wins the prize for the busiest manufacturer of the year, with barely a month passing by without a new trumpet hitting the homepage. Arguably its most significant though came at the top of the year with the Speed Triple 1200 RS, which gained more power, more tech and more prestige in its quest to nudge into the new class of so-called hypernakeds. Here we pitted it against the balmiest of all the nudes, the KTM 1290 Super Duke R, to find out whether being hyper is best enjoyed with a bit of British gravitas, or a healthy dose of Austrian wahoo! We won't spoil the ending. There was a point in 2020 where we weren't entirely sure if Suzuki was still operating, having gone very quiet on the wires when it came to new models. As it turns out, it was simply gearing up for a big 2021 comeback brimming with new models, not least the brand new Hayabusa. Spoiler alert, that model is coming up later, but you also found pleasure in learning more about its more mundane models, including this, the GSX S1000. Okay, so mundane is probably not the right word to use here, and some of you weren't terribly kind about the refreshed looks, but it handles well, is good value, and as with all Suzukis, it will just keep going and going. As I mentioned before, this has been a great year for Triumph, and much of its success can be attributed to the launch of the brand new Trident, which has been selling well in the UK, Europe and beyond. The review for the middleweight triple-cylinder Roadster was one of our most viewed of 2020, so it's no surprise to see this head-to-head with the Yamaha MT-07 also captured your imagination. Both new for 2021, these midweight roadsters pack a punch, but only one can come out on top. We made our decision, what's yours? As well as the refreshed MT-07, this year saw the all-new Yamaha MT-09 hit the road, debuting a new design direction for the firm that has been, how can we put this, divisive. Truth be told, we found the winged central porthole headlight works better in person than in photos, and, well, you can't see it when you're riding anyway. If you do get as far as throwing your leg over the MT-09, then you will find the reworked triple-cylinder CP3 engine a true asset, while Yamaha's lofty reputation for assured handling, attention to detail, value and quality remain very much intact. After all, it is one of Europe's best sellers, and when you look at these video views, which don't include the many that watched our review of the SP version 2, it's not hard to see why it remains so popular. Into the top 5, and we have another head-to-head, and they don't come more powerful and more quickly than these two. Suzuki hit the headlines in January with the unveiling of the second generation Hayabusa, and it's fair to say that it's a pretty big deal for the Hamamatsu mark, coming 21 years after the first generation was launched. I mean, can you remember what you were doing 21 years ago? Other than partying like it was 1999 and stressing about the Millennium Bug. Back then, it was the poster boy of motorcycles, boasting the fastest top speed of any motorcycle out there. That mantle remains largely intact for a mass-produced road-going model, and the latest generation doesn't tinker with the formula too much. It still looks, well, beefy, which may or may not be a good thing, still goes off like a rocket and makes us all giddy when we ride one. It's actually not as fast as the original, but it is more refined, more usable, and easier to live with. But is it better than the Kawasaki H2 SX here? Well, you better go and watch and find out. At number 4 was the most watched head-to-head of 2021 on the Visordown YouTube channel, the KTM 390 Adventure versus the Honda CB500X. For many, you cannot go wrong with an off-roading KTM, so if you're on a bit of a budget, the pint-sized but ever so capable 390 Adventure is a proper hoot in the mud. While the CB500X distills all that Honda engineering prowess and ease of ownership into a surprisingly capable off-road package. The small ADV market is a growing one too, with models from Benelli, Royal Enfield and soon even Hayabusa joining the ranks. But these two from KTM and Honda are the motorcycles they have to beat. But which do we think is best? No spoilers here. You've just seen it take on the KTM in its previous generation, guys. Now get a load of the Honda CB500X in its new party frock. Though you may not recognise it from the outset immediately, the CB500X received a fairly significant overhaul for 2022 alongside its sister CB500F and CBR500 brothers, but it is the more adventurous of the three that ratcheted up the most views when we tested each one. We're big fans of all three, but we're not surprised you like the CB500X most. It is great value, looks handsome, is simple to ride on the road and in the rough, plus its A2 capability makes it a fantastic premium option for those limited by cash and license. Certainly one of our motorcycles of the year. Like the Yamaha MT-09 we featured earlier in this rundown, the Yamaha MT-07 is a big favourite among buyers in Europe, in a class that is surprisingly underrepresented given its popularity. However, having gained a big new rival in the Triumph Trident 660 in 2020, Yamaha didn't rest on its laurels, giving the MT-07 a refresh to repel its British rival. We compared the two in a video also featuring in this rundown, but the review dedicated solely to the MT-07 was even more popular, generating more than 200,000 views over the course of the year. You can't go wrong with a Yamaha, it seems, and we happen to agree. We've reached a Christmas number 1, and shock, it is not Adele, Ed Sheeran, or Lad Baby. Instead, the most watched video on the Visordown YouTube channel was our review for the Honda X-ADV. Yes, the quirky scooter-cum-off-roader is something of a curio for both us and you, it seems, with a mammoth 390,000 views coming courtesy of this video alone, while even our pre-ride video of the specifications generated 300,000 too. Do the maths, that's 700,000 views. Damn, this is a popular model. And what did we think of it? Well, we thought the updated design was very sharp, the practicality was impressive, and believe it or not, it's actually very good in the rough stuff. It's not cheap, and you'd wonder why you'd get one over a CB500X, but the X-ADV remains fairly unique in its approach. And what can we say? Why be normal when you can stand out from the crowd? So that's that. Remember to like and subscribe so you can watch these videos and enjoy many more in 2022, when we will have the first rides of the new Ducati Desert X, MV Agusta Lucky Explorer, Kawasaki Versys 650, and hush hush, the yet-to-be-revealed BMW R1300 GS. And as ever, keep it locked to Visordown.com because we're going for another record year in 2022. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from everyone here at Visordown, and ciao for now.